The Great Bible, 1 Kings, the 3rd chapter. Solomon taketh Pharaoh's daughter to wife. The Lord appeareth to him, and giveth him wisdom. The pleading of the two harlots, who should own the living child, and Solomon's sentence therein. The 3rd chapter. Solomon made affinity with Pharaoh king of Egypt, and took Pharaoh's daughter, and brought her into the city of David, until he had made an end of building his own house, and the house of the Lord, and the wall of Jerusalem round about. Only the people sacrificed in altars made on hills, because there was no house built unto the name of the Lord until those days. And Solomon loved the Lord, and walked in the ordinances of David his father, save only that he sacrificed and offered incense upon altars in hills. And the king went to Gibeon to offer there, for that was a special offering place. 1,000 burnt offerings did Solomon offer upon that altar. And in Gibeon the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night. And God said, "Ask what thou wilt, that I may give it thee." And Solomon said, "Thou hast showed unto thy servant David my father great mercy, when he walked before thee in truth, in righteousness, and in plainness of heart with thee. And thou hast kept for him this great mercy, that thou hast given him a son, to sit on his seat, as it is come to pass this day. And now, O Lord my God, it is thou that hast made thy servant king instead of David my father. And I am but young, and wot not how to go out and in. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen. And verily the people are so many, that they cannot be told nor numbered for multitude. Give therefore unto thy servant an understanding heart, to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this, thy so mighty a people?" And this pleased the Lord well, that Solomon had desired this thing. And God said unto him, "Because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked long life, neither hast asked riches, nor the soul of thine enemies, but hast asked understanding and discretion in judgment. Behold, I have done according to thy petition. For I have given thee a wise and understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, even riches and honor, so that there shall be no king like unto thee all thy days. And if thou wilt walk in my ways, to keep mine ordinances and my commandments, as thy father David did walk, I will lengthen thy days." When Solomon awoke, behold, it was a dream. And he came to Jerusalem, and stood before the ark of the testament of the Lord, and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings, and made a feast to all his servants. Then came there 2 women that were harlots unto the king, and stood before him. And the one woman said, "O my lord, I and this woman dwell in one house, and I was delivered of a child with her in the house. And the 3rd day after that I was delivered, she was delivered also. And we were together, and no stranger with us in the house, save we 2. And this wive's child died in the night, for she smothered it. And she rose at midnight, and took my son from my side, while thine handmaid slept, and laid it in her bosom, and put her dead child in my bosom. And when I rose up to give my child suck, behold, it was dead. But when I had looked upon it in the morning, behold, it was not my son which I did bear. The other woman said, It is not so, but my son liveth, and thy son is dead. And she said again, No, but thy son is dead, and my son is alive. And thus they pleaded before the king. Then said the king, The one saith, This that is alive is my son, and the dead is thine. And the other saith, Nay, but thy son is the dead, and the living child is mine. And the king said, Bring me a sword. And they brought out a sword before the king. And the king said, Divide the living child in two, and give the one half to the one, and the other to the other. Then spake the woman, whose the living child was, unto the king, for her bowels yearned upon her son, and said, I beseech thee, my lord, give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. But the other said, Let it be neither mine nor thine, but divide it. Then the king answered and said, Give her the living child, and slay it not, for she is the mother thereof. And all they of Israel heard of the judgment which the king hath judged, and feared the king, for they saw that the wisdom of God was in him to do justice. The 4th chapter. The princes and rulers under Solomon, the purveyance for his victuals, the number of his horses and of his parables. The 4th chapter. And so King Solomon was king over all Israel, and these were his lords: Azariahu, the son of Sadok the priest, Elihoreph and Ahiah, the sons of Sisa, scribes, Jehoshaphat, the son of Ahilud, the recorder, Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, was over the host, and Sadok and Abiatar were the priests, and Azariahu, the son of Natan, was over the officers, and Zabud, the son of Natan, was a priest, the king's companion, and Ahisar, steward of household, and Adoniram, the son of Abda, was over the tributes. And Solomon had 12 officers over all Israel, which provided victual for the king and his household. Each man his month in a year made provision for necessary things. And these are their names: the son of Hur in Mount Ephraim, the son of Dekar in Makaz, and in Saalbin and Bethsames, Elon and Bethanan, the son of Hezed in Arubot, to whom pertained Soko and all the land of Hepher, the son of Abinadab, in all the region of Dor, which had Tophet, the daughter of Solomon, to wife. Baana, the son of Ahilud, was over Tanakh and Megiddo, and over all Bethsan, which is by Zartana, beneath Jezreel, from Bethsan to the plain of Meholah, even unto the place that is over against Jekmeam. The son of Geber had Ramoth Gilead, and his were the towns of Jair, the son of Manasseh, which are in Gilead, and under him was the region of Argob, which is in Bashan, 80 great cities with walls and bars of brass. Ahinadab, the son of Hiddo, had Mahanaim. Ahimaaz was in Nephthalim, and he took Basmat, the daughter of Solomon, to wife. Baana, the son of Huzai, was in Aser, in Alot. Jehoshaphat, the son of Paruah was in Issachar. Semei, the son of Elah, was in Benjamin. Geber, the son of Uri, was in the country of Gilead, the land of Sihon, king of the Amorites, and of Og, king of Bashan, and was officer alone in the land. And Judah and Israel were many, even as the sand of the sea in number, eating, drinking, and making merry. And Solomon reigned over all kingdoms, from the river unto the land of the Philistines, even unto the border of Egypt. And they brought presents, and served Solomon all the days of his life. And Solomon's bread for one day was 30 quarters of manchet flour, and 80 quarters of meal, 10 stalled oxen, and 20 out of the pastures, and 100 sheep, beside harts, bucks, and wild goats, and capons. For he ruled in all the region on the other side Euphrates, from Tiflah to Azah, over all the kings on the other side the river. And he had peace with all his servants on every side. And Judah and Israel dwelt without fear, every man under his vine and under his fig tree, from Dan to Beerseba, all the days of Solomon. And Solomon had 40,000 stalls of horses for chariots, and 12,000 horsemen. And the officers provided victual for King Solomon, and for all that came out of any place to King Solomon's table, every man his month, so that there lacked nothing. Barley also, and straw for the horses and mules, brought they unto the place where the officers were, every man in his office. And God gave Solomon wisdom and understanding exceeding much, and a large heart, even as the sand that is on the seashore. And Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the children of the east country, and all the wisdom of Egypt. For he was wiser than all men, yea, than Etan the Ezrahite, and Haman, Talcol, and Darda, the sons of Mahol. And his name was spoken of throughout all nations on every side. And Solomon spake 3,000 proverbs, and his songs were 1,005. And he spake of trees, even from the cedar tree that groweth in Lebanon, unto the hyssop that springeth out of the wall. He spake also of beasts, of fowls, and of worms, and of fishes. And there came of all nations to hear the wisdom of Solomon, and from all kings of the earth, which had heard of his wisdom. The 5th chapter. King Hiram sendeth cedar timber to the building of the temple. The description of the works. The 5th chapter. And Hiram, king of Tyre, sent his servants unto Solomon, for he had heard that they had anointed him king in the town of his father. For Hiram was ever a lover of David. And Solomon sent to Hiram, saying, Thou knowest how that David my father could not build an house unto the name of the Lord his God, for the wars which were about him on every side, until the Lord put them under the soles of his feet. But now the Lord my God hath given me rest on every side, so that there is neither adversary nor any evil plague. And behold, I am determined to build an house unto the name of the Lord my God, as the Lord spake unto David my father, saying, Thy son, whom I will set upon thy seat for thee, he shall build an house unto my name. Now therefore command thou that they hew me cedar trees out of Lebanon, and my servants shall be with thine, and unto thee will I give thee hire for thy servants, according to all such things as thou shalt appoint. For thou knowest that there are not among us that can skill to hew timber like unto the Sidonians. When Hiram heard the words of Solomon, he rejoiced greatly, and said, Blessed be the Lord this day, which hath given unto David a wise son over this mighty people. And Hiram sent to Solomon, saying, I have considered the things which thou sentest to me for, and will accomplish all thy desire, concerning timber of cedar trees and fir. My servants shall bring them from Lebanon to the sea, and I will convey them by ship unto the place that thou shalt show me, and will cause them to be discharged there, and thou shalt receive them. And thou shalt do me a pleasure again, if thou minister food for mine house. And so Hiram gave Solomon cedar trees and fir trees, according to all his desire. And Solomon gave Hiram 20,000 quarters of wheat for food to his household, and 20 butts of pure oil. Thus much gave Solomon to Hiram year by year. And the Lord gave Solomon wisdom, as he promised him. And there was peace between Hiram and Solomon, and they two were confederate together. And King Solomon raised a sum out of all Israel, and the sum was 30,000 men, whom he sent to Lebanon, 10,000 a month by course, so that when they had been 1 month in Lebanon, they abode 2 months at home. And Adoniram was over the sum. And Solomon had 70,000 that bare burdens, and 80,000 masons in the mountains, besides the lords, whom Solomon appointed to oversee the work, even 3,300, which ruled the people and them that wrought in the work. And the king commanded them to bring great stones, weighty stones, and hewed stones for the foundation of the house. And Solomon's masons and the masons of Hiram did hew them, with the workmen of the corners. And so they prepared both timber and stones for the building of the house. The 6th chapter. How and when the temple was builded. The 6th chapter. And it came to pass that in the 480th year, after the children of Israel were come out of the land of Egypt, and the 4th year of the reign of Solomon upon Israel, and in the month Ziph, which is the 2nd month, he began to build the house of the Lord. And the house which Solomon built for the Lord was 60 cubits long, and 20 cubits broad, and 30 cubits high. And he made a porch before the body of the temple, which was 20 cubits long after the breadth of the house, and 10 cubits broad, even in the forefront of the house. And in the house he made windows broad without, and narrow within. And in the wall of the house he made chambers round about, even in the walls of the house, round about the temple and the choir, and made sides round about. The nethermost chamber was 5 cubits broad, and the middle was 6 cubits broad, and the third was 7 cubits broad. For without in the wall of the house he laid beams round about, that the beams of the chambers should not be fastened in the walls of the house. And the house was built of stone, made perfect already before it was brought thither, so that there was neither hammer nor axe, either any tool of iron heard in the house, while it was in building. The door of the middle chamber was in the right side of the house, and men went up with winding stairs into the middle chamber, and out of the middle into the third. And so he built the house and finished it, and roofed it with beams of cedar timber. And then he built chambers to all the temple, of 5 cubits height, and they were joined to the house with beams of cedar. And the word of the Lord came to Solomon, saying, Concerning the house which thou art in building, if thou wilt walk in mine ordinances, and execute my laws, and keep my commandments, to walk in them, then will I make good unto thee my promise, which I promised David thy father. And I will dwell among the children of Israel, and will not forsake my people Israel. Solomon therefore built the house and finished it, and siled the walls of the house within with borders of cedar tree, even from the pavement of the house unto the roof did he seal the walls of it within with cedar tree, and boarded the floor of the house with planks of fir. And he resiled 20 cubits in the sides of the choir of the temple, both floor and walls with boards of cedar, and dressed it within in the secret place of the temple, even in the most holy. And the first house, that is to say, the body of the temple without, was 40 cubits long. And the cedar of the house within was carved with knops and graven with flowers, and all was cedar timber, so that no stone was seen. And the choir that was within the temple he prepared to set there the ark of the appointment of the Lord. And the choir before was 20 cubits long, and 20 cubits in breadth, and 20 cubits in height. And he sealed it with pure gold, and boarded the altar with cedar. And Solomon also sealed the house within with pure gold. And he made gold bars run along the choir, which he had covered with gold. And the whole house he overlaid with gold, until he had ended it. And the altar that was in the choir he overlaid with gold also. And within the choir he made 2 cherubims of olive tree, 10 cubits high, 5 cubits long was a wing of the one cherub, and 5 cubits long was a wing of the other cherub, so that from the uttermost part of one wing unto the uttermost part of the other were 10 cubits. And the other cherub was 10 cubits high also, so that both the cherubs were of one measure and one size. For the height of the one cherub was 10 cubits, and so was it of the other. And he put the cherubs within the inner house, and the cherubs stretched out their wings, so that the one wing of the one touched the one wall, and the one wing of the other touched the other wall. And the other 2 wings of them touched one another in the midst of the house. And he overlaid the cherubs with gold. And in all the walls of the house round about he made figures of carved and sealed work, as namely pictures of cherubs and palm trees and graven flowers, both within the choir and without in the temple. And the flower of the house he covered with gold, both within the choir and also without in the temple. And in the entering of the choir he made 2 doors of olive tree, and both the upper and 2 side posts were 5 square. The 2 doors also were of olive tree, and he graved them with graving of cherubs and palm trees and graven flowers, and covered them with gold, and laid thin plates of gold upon the cherubs and palm trees. And in like manner did he in the door of the temple, saving that the posts were of olive tree 4 square, and the 2 doors were of fir tree, and either door with 2 folding leaves. He graved thereon cherubs, palm trees, and flowers, and covered them with gold, which was laid thin upon the carved work. And he built the inner court with 3 rows of hewed stone, and 1 row of cedar wood. In the 4th year was the foundation of the house of the Lord laid, even in the month Ziph, and in the 11th year, in the month Bul, which is the 8th month, was the house full finished throughout all the parts thereof, and according to all the fashion of it. And so was he 7 years in building it.